So when you open Illustrator, your screen is going to look like this. Hit escape out of this little box here. The first thing we need to do is create a new drawing or new template. So in the top left-hand corner, I'm going to click File, New. Here it's going to ask you to name and set some parameters. So we're going to always name our document first. This does not autosave. Okay, so you have to save your work as you go. We're going to title this as Keychain, and you can put dash your last name. Okay. Now, you want to make sure you change your units to inches. So if it says something other than inches, make sure you click this arrow here, change this to inches, and you're going to add the width to whatever your design is. We have to work within 4 inches by 2 inches. Okay. So if you're happy with the width at 4, great. Just make sure you change that to a 4 if it's not. And the height, you can either have this be no smaller, well, you can make it as small as you want, but no bigger than 2 inches. So it's either going to be 2 inches or 1.5. Okay, for mine, I'll make this 2 inches. All right, so I have my name, I have the width, the height, and the units are in inches. Great, I hit OK. All right, so we have our workspace here. Now, this rectangle we see on the screen is not going to show up. This black line here is just a reference for us. Anything within this drawing will be saved as in it. Anything outside this space will not be shown when we save it. Okay. Now, the first thing you want to do is create a rectangle. All right. If we're looking at the space here, just a quick reference. This is our toolbar on the left-hand side. This has all our tools, our drawing commands, our paintbrushes, our color blocks. Over here on the right, we have our navigational window. If you're not seeing this, there's a good chance it's kind of hidden on the side here. So just double click this expand dock, these arrows over here, and that will open this up. Don't worry too much. We're not going to use a whole lot on this side other than the navigational zoom slider. This allows us to zoom in and out. You can also hold Alt on your keyboard and use the mouse roller wheel to roll back and forth. All right. The navigational block does the same thing. If you're not seeing this, go to the window button on the top of the browser or the top of the screen here and make sure the navigator icon is clicked. Okay, if it's not, it will not show up. All right. So first thing we're going to do over here, we're going to draw a rectangle. So on the left-hand side, there's a little toolbar icon and it looks like a rectangle. If I click this, I'm just going to drag. It's okay if it's not exactly. I'm going to keep it a little bit on the inside. I'm going to click and drag. And I have a rectangle. Now you'll notice my cursor is still crosshairs. I want to break this command, meaning I want to escape the rectangle command. I don't want to draw another rectangle. I can hit V on my keyboard, or this black cursor, this black pointer up here will bring you back to the selection pointer. This allows us to just click and drag things. So as you can see, I can click and drag. If I wanted to, I can click and move this out of the way. I can click the corners, shrink them down a little bit. If I want to get real specific, I can change the size of this. Up here, it says if I click on an object, for example, I'll click this, it'll show you the width and the height of that object. So I could change the width here if I wanted to be exact. Maybe I want this to now be 3.5. I want the height to be 2 or 1.5. It will shrink that down. So again, if you select this, it'll allow you to adjust this. You don't need to focus on that. You can just click and drag. This isn't too specific. As long as it's within this original 4-inch by 2-inch rectangle that we created, you should be all set. All right, next thing, this is a black line. We need to turn this to a red line because the red line cuts, the black's engraved. So we need to cut out this shape. So over in the bottom of the left-hand toolbar, there are 2 squares. One is a solid square. One is a square with a little square inside it. One is the fill color. The fill color is whatever color the inside of that object is. So this is white. We want to click the other square, the stroke square, double click that, and we can move this color, so it is red. So now it changed it from black to red. So now my line, the black line tool will cut this line out here. So I have my outline. Now anything inside this rectangle will be cut. All right, so what we want to do next is add our text. So over here on the left-hand side, I can click the type tool, the T for type, click, and I can add whatever you want to put, right? For this example, I'm just going to put my name. And it'll probably be kind of small, so what you can do is highlight this, and up on the top here, you can change the size of it, and you can change the type of font. So once you decide what type of font you want and the correct size, again, to escape out of this command, you just hit the black selection tool up here where my cursor is blinking, or I hit V on my keyboard. From there, I can click and move this wherever I want it. I can, if I highlight around the text, I can also rotate it. Great. Once I'm happy with the size and the shape and the location, we can leave it as is. Now it will engrave my name, meaning it's not going to cut out this text, it's going to engrave this. All right. Now, that's great. We can also add some custom shapes or designs. This takes a little bit of practice, but I want to show you. There's a pencil tool, there's a paintbrush tool, there's a line tool, there's a pen tool. So for example, if I want to just draw something that's going to be engraved, I can make sure that the fill down here where my cursor is blinking is black. I can, maybe I want to draw, I don't know. I'll draw a little smiley face. So this, right, obviously goofy, but this would be engraved, right? So this would be engraved. So I can kind of paint a little drawing here. I can always come back later on and kind of modify this. I can stretch these out. I can move some of these points. I don't want to get too into the weeds with this project yet, but just showing you there's a lot of capabilities of things we can do with this. All right. So whatever, if I was to save this and push this through now, it would engrave my name, this weird smiley face, and then it would cut it out, the red line here. Now, great, if that's what we want, excellent. A lot of us want to import pictures. So this is it's a lot of steps, but it's a pretty easy process. So what we can do here is, I'm just going to delete this. To delete things, you just click them and hit delete. It's pretty simple. So say, for example, I want to put a picture of something. I can open up Google Chrome. Say I want to put a picture of anything. We'll find Super Mario. I don't know why. Super Mario. Find a picture of Super Mario. Go to images. I'm going to do black and white. Keep it simple. Mario outline. Like this guy here. So if I like this guy, I'm going to right click, copy this, copy image, and I can go right back to my Illustrator file. I can go up to the top of the screen where it says file, edit, object type, etc. I can click edit and click paste. Now you'll notice, wow, the image is pasted, but one, it's too big. If I zoom out, you'll see. Okay, and if it's a little pixelated, the laser will pick up on that. So we need to change that so it's smooth, right? So first thing I like to do is shrink this down. I'm going to shrink this down to the size I want it to be. So there's a little bit of zooming in and out. I kind of bring it down. Maybe I want it to fit there. It's covering my name right now. We'll fix that. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to click this image. I need to live trace. All right. So if your image is selected, up in the top of the screen that says live trace, you're going to click that little arrow next to it. Go all the way to the bottom. It says tracing options. When I click this, another box is going to pop up. What I like to do is, before I make any adjustments, click the preview button here. This will allow you, it will show you what it does before you actually accept this. Now this is a quick one. If you notice, once I hit preview, it changes these lines to be a lot smoother. So you might have to adjust your image. It's okay. There's different things. There's different settings in here. There's modes: black and white, grayscale, fill, stroke. So you might click some of these, see what changes look best for yours. Okay, I can change the threshold. This is a pretty straightforward drawing. Once I like this, I'm good to go. I hit trace. Almost done. The last thing we need to do is click one more time. There's a button up here called expand. I'm going to click expand. And you'll notice now everything has its own separate points. So this allows me to then double click. I can work within this space. So there's some extra lines here I want to get rid of. I can just click these and delete these. If I wanted to, I could go back and change the colors of each of these lines. I'm not going to do that, but you can do that if I, for example, wanted to cut out this part and leave the rest engraved. Once you're happy with it, you might need to readjust it a little bit. I can then save this and laser engrave it. Okay, so my last step would be going up, clicking File, saving it. Now, this does not autosave, so you want to make sure it's saved as your name or the keychain and your name. Okay. Now, this will automatically save in your downloads file. That's fine. All right. This is your desktop, so you might want to create your own folder within the desktop. Otherwise, just save it here. That's fine. So I save it. Just click OK. Now, I will show you in another video how to move that file into your Google Drive. So you're going to have to upload that file into your Drive and add that to your Google Classroom folder so I can access that and print that.